Hello, everybody. Let's get some light on the subject. Woo, this lamp sucks. All right, everybody. And thank you for stopping by the Massachusetts Whiskey Reviews today channel of YouTube. I'm Thomas Metal 75, and this is your Massachusetts beer review, or should I say a whiskey review today. And this is an interesting product from Park City, Utah, the High West Distillery. This is their Campfire in these traditional High West whiskey, tall, very tall bottles. So, High West whiskey, again, Park City, Utah. I believe they started in 2006, I believe. And they don't produce any of their own whiskeys as far as my knowledge is concerned. I believe that they are producing bottles by way of blending. They blend all of their whiskeys, which is kind of cool. And they source a lot of the whiskeys from other distilleries that provide the opportunity to source whiskey from. And I think that some of this whiskey is done by MGP, which is in Indiana. I don't know if MGP is actually their name anymore, but MGP does a lot of whiskeys that brands source, and they put their own label and they do the blending themselves. So here's this one, which is really interesting. The High West Campfire is a blend of 3 different kinds of whiskeys. It's a blend of a straight rye whiskey, a straight bourbon whiskey, and a blended malt scotch whiskey, which is really cool. And on the back of the bottle, there's a bunch of write-up about the whiskey. I'm not going to go into that much of the detail on it, but I think it must have been the founder, David Perkins, or maybe the master distiller here, Brendan Coyle. They say, while I was going to write something cheesy about cowboys, campfires, and whiskey, but I figured you might be more interested in how the whiskey came to be. One morning at the Brooklady Distillery B&B, which is a Scottish distillery, my wife and I smelled peat in the air. The great ladies that made our meals were simmering a bottle of peated whiskey and sugar. Later that night, they brought out the dessert of ripe honeydew drizzled with the peated syrup. That was the most unusual, delicious, and memorable ending to a dinner I've ever had. Okay, so the combination of the melon and the sweet smoke really worked. So naturally, I thought, why not mix the sweet bourbon and peat? There you go. Cheers, BC. Cheers, drunken one. Let me actually pour some of this out into a Glen Karen. Okay, that's a healthy pour. All right, let me see if I can explain what is actually the mash bill or the blend in this whiskey. The blend in this whiskey, again, straight bourbon rye peated Scotch whiskey. The rye the rye whiskeys are 95% rye, 5% barley malt from MGP, 80% rye, and then 20% malted rye from High West. So I guess they are doing a little bit of distilling. The straight bourbon whiskey is 75% corn, 21% rye, and then 4% malted barley from MGP. And it's an undisclosed source from what distillery the blended malt Scotch whiskey is being provided from. And they're using new charred white American oak barrels as well as second use bourbon barrels, which I would assume is from the Scotch. Okay, let's take a look at said whiskey, shall we? Just neat for now, then we will add some water. Hey, cheers, John Ross. Cheers. All right, so the High West bourbon it's a very nice caramel color, definitely. There's definitely some legs, but it's a spirit, so it's going to have the legs. Let's see on the nose. I am getting some peat, some smokiness underneath, but I'm getting the sweetness of the bourbon. I'm getting the caramel, some toffee malt, a little bit of graham cracker. I am getting a little spicy zing, or even something like eucalyptusy in the. I think that's from the straight rise. Anything else? Like a kind of like a vanilla kind of note in there too. Yeah, there's definitely a maltiness, and there's definitely in the background there is the the malt whiskey from Scotland. Pretty good. Maybe a little citrusy fruit. Yep. Let's try it straight. Cheers, everybody. High West Campfire. Very interesting. So yeah, you're really getting each layer of the whiskey, each style of whiskey that was blended into this very distinctly. At first, you're getting the straight bourbons, that straight bourbon, typical caramel, kind of brown sugary note to it. I would say a little bit of vanilla. To me, a little toasty marshmallow, if you will. Yep. Some wood char there in the barrel char. And then that rye whiskey that I can see here that I'm detecting. It is sometimes rye whiskeys can come off spicy, peppery, with a little peppery zing. Sometimes they can come off a little minty or I don't want to say medicinal, but this one here is like I see green scope quickly, that kind of mint, that kind of bright, fresh minty note. That's what I'm tasting next. And then the malted flavors of the scotch and a little bit of the smoke lingering underneath. Sweet bourbon notes, that eucalyptus, a little bit of a spice zing, I think, right after that, as it transitions into that single, or I don't know, it's not single malt, the blended scotch whiskey with a little bit of that peatiness to it. So let's do one more sip, uh, neat, before we get to any water additions. Yeah, that time I really got a nice spicy zing and a nice barrel char to that. Finish so far is it's a medium finish. It kind of ends up going pretty dry for the most part. Getting some barrel or woody kind of tannins to this one, and maybe like a dried fruit kind of thing at the end. Interesting, very. Cheers, Jeremy, Vincent, JV's Hangout. We are doing once again the High West Whiskey Campfire, which apparently as of 2021, March 2021, this is now only available as a distillery only product. And I did not go to the distillery. I bought this at a local liquor store in Massachusetts where I live, in my town. So that was a pretty good buy on my part. I think it was $55 or $6. Not bad for the quality so far. Yeah, let's get a little bit of some water in here. I got a straw with some water beside me. Let's do one more. 2 is usually a good place for me to start. All right. Let's shake it all about. Do the hokey pokey. That's what it's all about. All right, let's see. Let's take a little palate cleanser of water. Now let's see in the nose what has changed, if any, with the 2 drops, the 2 straws of water. Let's see what's changed. Okay, so now a much sweeter aroma is coming out of the glass. Way more caramel, way more of a toffee, vanilla, caramel, creme brulee, almost kind of a nose in there. Definitely more bourbon, American whiskey notes are coming out of this one now. A little bit more of the Scotch whiskey malt, and the smoke is in the background. Vanilla cream, yeah, creme brulee, vanilla cream. Maybe not burnt sugar, maybe not cooked sugar into straight caramel. Maybe vanilla cream. Yeah, interesting. Let's give it a taste. Cheers, everybody. So I'm not getting quite the punch, or I'm not, well, not the punch. I'm not quite getting that green scope, minty eucalyptus style thing as pronounced in the flavor with some water addition. What I am getting, however, is reminding me much more of a traditional straight bourbon flavor. Vanilla creams are starting to come out. More of a caramel flavor in the sweetness is coming out. Yeah, vanilla is more barrel oakiness is coming out of this one. Yeah, maybe there is like a burnt or a cooked sugar kind of a note in there too. In that carameling department. I'm getting a little bit more of the scotch, a little bit more of the malt and some of the peat. Again, it's underneath everything. And at this point, the best part with the water, I would have to say, is the finish elongates. It is a way more oily, slick mouthfeel at this point. And you're getting in that. And what are you being left with in the finish? Maybe you're getting that rye, that rye flavor towards the finish there. Nice sweet caramel notes. Definitely the cooked version of the sugar is in there. Some vanillas, and yeah, the rye eucalyptus, and some kind of a spiced note. I'm not particularly very good at reviewing whiskeys yet. I don't know exactly how to. I can kind of pick up what's going down. I'm starting to get better at that with the whiskey, but it's really hard for me to describe exactly to a T. But I think I'm getting better at this. So, anyways, I think, what does the High West website say? That they got a 91. This bottle got a 91 on Wine Advocate, 93 by the Beverage Tasting Institute, and the International Review of Spirits Award was a gold medal, 93 points by Jim Murray. They say the finish is long, sweet, spicy, smoky. I'll go with that. Taste vanilla, honey, toffee with some nice fruit, blackberries, blueberries, chai spices, nutmeg, cinnamon, orange zest, salty caramels, tobacco, gentle smoke. And the nose is floral, fruity, bright, and spicy caramel, butterscotch, light smoke, and a smoldering wood from a campfire in the morning after jasmine, chai, tea, sandalwood, leather, tobacco, pine, resin, which I didn't seem to get, and a toasted bread. So I think I'm pretty in line with, they said it a little more elegantly, but I think I said it the way, I think I'm pretty close to what they said there. I didn't get pine resin though, but that could be the minty thing maybe. I don't know. But what I was going to say was I don't really know how to properly rate whiskeys quite yet, but I'm going to try my honest best here, and I will stick with the Wine Institute. 91. I think the price isn't so bad at $55, $56 for the quality that you're getting. I feel like this was a great purchase because now it's going to distillery only, and I had no clue when I bought it. Goodbye on that one. Good decision. And what else? I think, could be wrong, but I feel like this could be a great whiskey to get either Americans interested in some Scotch whiskey, or if you've never had Scotch whiskey before, this could be with a little bit of the smoky quality. That's the kind I'm talking about, the peated scotches. If you've never had peated scotches, good one to start with. And if you've never even had anything Scotch and you're just used to American whiskeys and bourbons and even ryes, I think this is a safe, approachable way to do it. It's typical flavors of great bourbon. It's got the punch of the rye in the middle. And then this, for me at least, the Scotch whiskey, the malt Scotch whiskey, the peated malt Scotch whiskey is very gentle, but it has a nice foundation, keeps the foundation together, and you can really tell it's right there beneath everything. So it's really nice. 91. And yeah, let's not forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to donate, there's the email address right there. If you want to donate on PayPal to any future reviews, just send over whatever amount of money that you feel is okay by you, and write a message saying I would like to see a review of X, Y, and Z. And if I can get it, I will try to get said beer. And if I can't get said beer, I will at least try to do my best to get an approximate product. So 91 High West whiskey, their Campfire. And until next time, keep sipping on those great bourbons and whiskeys. Cheers. We'll see you soon.